On today's episode of the Habitz Podcast, we've got Cheryl White from Mercury Franchise School, and she'll be sharing with us her good habits when it comes to getting your business prepared for franchising. So thanks for joining us, Cheryl. There'll be some listeners tuning in wondering what qualifies you to be our guest expert when it comes to franchising.
So I've been in the franchising industry now for just over 8 years. I decided to franchise my own business in 2012 due to the lack of home care that was available throughout the UK. Went to see my accountant and she referred me on to a franchise consultant. So I decided that was the route I was going to go down, franchise the business with the franchise consultant. But unfortunately, the franchise consultant went bankrupt 6 months into working with me and I lost all of the money I'd paid to her. So I sat at home for a couple of weeks and panicked, and then decided that I needed to do something about moving the business forward. So I went to see a franchise solicitor in Liverpool, got the best legal documents I could afford at the time written, rewrote all of the franchise documents myself, and franchised my own business in beginning of 2013. So I quickly sold 3 franchises, including the main business, Apollo Care, as a franchise. And fast forward to now, we've built up a big head office team. We support over 13 franchises across the UK, and we've built a multi-million-pound franchise brand.
So you are selling all different franchise businesses now in all different sectors and industries?
Yeah, so what we do with Mercury Franchise School is we help any type of business in any type of sector to franchise. So people will come to me with a franchise idea. Their business has normally been running for more than 12 months. We've helped over 50 businesses to franchise now. In different sectors such as cleaning, children's fitness, decluttering, all different services that we've helped people to franchise.
So I imagine then you've seen some businesses that aren't in a position to franchise, some that are sort of in a perfect position to franchise. So what are some of the things that people get wrong when they're considering franchising their own business?
I would say one of the biggest things people get wrong, and one of the biggest mistakes, is trying to franchise the business themselves. I've seen that happen on more than a couple of occasions. People will do a 30-minute call with me and then go off and think that they can do the franchising model themselves. And normally what happens then is they may take on 1 or 2 franchisees, get themselves into a legal mess and come back to me for some help. So the second mistake that I see people make is taking on the wrong type of franchisees. So some franchisors will literally take on anybody that waves the money at them. And that's always a really bad idea, because once you've got the wrong franchisee on board, you spend an awful lot of time and money trying to fix that franchisee and get them to be a part of your team, get them to run as you want your business model to run. And 9 times out of 10, you then end up with legal fees trying to exit them from the business as well. Yeah,
so I used to work in franchising, and I used to go out, I worked for the franchisor, and I used to go out and set up franchisee businesses every couple of months. And we had a saying, which was, take the money out of the equation. Would you want to work with these people? And do you think they're a good brand ambassador for your brand, essentially, regardless of the money? And if the answer to that was no, we learned quite quickly that it was probably better not to take the money off them and then try and fix something you feel in your gut's going to be an issue or a problem.
Yeah.
Because that is better for you long term.
It is, and we what we teach at the franchise school is, as well as how to attract the right type of franchisee, we have a really robust onboarding system. So taking the franchisee from the first discovery call right the way through to signing the legal agreement.
Yeah.
And we have about 6 what we call red flags in there that would flag up for us if there was any reason that the franchisee wouldn't be a good fit for the business. So when we're teaching that to our franchise students who are franchising the business, we'll teach them how to onboard franchisees to make sure that they are the right fit for their business model.
So I imagine then if you are franchising your business and you want to get money in as soon as possible because it's a good way of raising capital, one of the things that you might do is drop the price or make it as low as possible to make it as attractive to as many potential franchisees possible? Is that something that you see?
Yeah, we see that an awful lot. Franchisors will come to us, and there's two problems there. One, they will attract the wrong type of franchisees in. So they'll come to us for some mentoring and say, you know, I may have 10 franchisees and at least 6 of them aren't doing as well as what they should be doing. And when I look into why, one of the main reasons is that the franchise fee is next to nothing to come into the business. The franchisor will also end up devaluing themselves, devaluing the business, and they'll actually end up in a loss because setting a franchisee up at a cost that is less to them, the franchisee will actually come on board owing the franchisor money.
Yeah. So if I was now thinking of franchising my business and I wanted to know some of the good habits that you suggest that I should implement, what would be your sort of top 3 tips for me?
I'd say the first tip would be to work with a franchise coach who has been there and done it. So I've worked with different business coaches over the years, and franchising is a niche. You need to understand how franchising works, what the processes are, what the quality assurance measures are before you actually mentor somebody else on how to do the same with their own business.
So that makes sense. Working with someone that's been there, done it, and has got experience, and they can sort of hold your hand and guide you on what issues that you might have to get yourself prepared for that. And finally, your last good habit?
I would say build up your support team. So always build up a team around you that can help you to grow and support the amount of franchisees that you bring on board. Having a really good ops manager support team in place will encourage your franchisees to grow and get the maximum profits they can get out of your business.
So if I'm listening to this now and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm thinking of franchising my business in 2021. It sounds like an awful lot of hard work. I'm not sure who to speak to. Where could I find you and more about what you guys do?
So my website is www.mercuryfranchiseschool.com. You can also find us on Facebook under Mercury Franchise School and on LinkedIn under my name, Cheryl White.
Thanks to Cheryl for sharing with us her good habits when it comes to getting your business prepared for franchising. If you've got any experiences as either a franchisor or a franchisee and some good habits you'd like to share, let us know in the usual places and join us next time for some more Habitz Podcast.